man. Oh, indeed. Hello, world. What's up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte. We are here live, that's right, at the Build studio in New York City. Check it out. Our next guest is a former software engineer, YouTube creator, comedian, hip-hop producer. Dude does it all with millions of followers across multiple platforms. And recently, it's true, named in May the most interesting YouTuber in the world by Forbes. It's no surprise that his Tiny Meat Gang tour is... I should have said the Tiny Meat Gang tour, not his Tiny Meat Gang tour.
Yeah, that makes it sound...
No, whatever. We'll get into it. Either way, his tour is selling out all over North America, dude. Folks, put your hands together. Make a ridiculous amount of noise. Please welcome the very funny Cody Ko right here. Do it up. Come on.
This is cool, man. This is really official. This is like really like there's a camera on a hanging thing right here.
My favorite part of that, it's like how many thousands of dollars. Don't worry, we got that tennis ball in the bottom though. In case you're gonna be all right. Exactly. Don't be afraid. People
modern
in front
technology,
row.
right?
That's right. We, Cody, dude, congratulations on the tour, on life in general. You're having a hell of a year right now, man. It has been a pretty wild ride, has it not?
Oh, it's been an incredible year and a half. It's been insane.
Pretty nuts.
Yeah.
How are you doing with this whole part of the process, going around doing press, answering questions, hanging out? Have you adjusted? Is this normal yet, or is it still weird?
It's still pretty weird.
Yeah.
It's just really hot out, so I arrive at everything really sweaty, you know?
You find press is easier to do in the fall and winter time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
When you can just, wear a coat.
Yeah, exactly.
There we
and
go.
I look nervous everywhere, which I am, by the way.
Well, I appreciate you coming out here and sweating and hanging out with us, as do all the fans.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's really nice to have you here with us, man. Well, there you go. That one person's very excited.
Yeah, she's super pumped. She's the only person. Woo!
I want to, before we get into just everything that's going on right now, I really just like to take a second, because you do have... a traditional career path, as I mentioned in the introduction.
Yeah, exactly.
Software engineer to comedian to hip-hop producer, all these different things.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah, exactly. That's how my dad did it.
It's a natural, exactly.
That's how his dad did it.
His dad before that, yeah. Yeah.
Everybody got it.
Yeah, exactly.
But really, like, the biggest question that I had there was, like, was there ever, as you were doing all these things, was there a plan? Did you view each, whatever accomplishment it was at whatever scale, was it, all right, I've done this thing, now I can go do this thing? Was there a plan in mind, or have you just kind of been feeling it out?
Like, a part of me just always wants to know, like, how things work. Yeah. So no matter what it was, like in college, it was like, how do I write apps? I'm going to learn how to do that really well. And then afterwards, it was like, how do I make people laugh? Let's try and do that. How do I make videos? How do I edit? How is music made? Yeah. I don't know. Sounds kind of corny, but like that's really what like drives me. It's like learning how to do something really well. I really like the learning curve, I guess.
Do you remember, were you like that when you were super little and stuff, man? Were you taking things apart? Were you always curious about like how stuff worked and whatnot?
Nah, I mean, I was more, I don't know. Can I swear on this thing?
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's a wild
more of
west
a shithead when I was a little bit younger. Yeah. Perfect. But I used to build Connects. Remember Connects?
Oh, I remember Connects.
Yeah, I used to build those like crazy all the time.
Roller coaster and like the Ferris wheel.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of ride-based construction with Connects.
Yeah, exactly. Really into theme parks now.
Yeah, I don't know why that was.
Yeah.
Planted that seed early.
Yeah.
What about your parents? I read a crazy thing, man, that like they were into software back in the day, and then now they like run ultra marathons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was that like influence-wise on you growing up? Like seeing your parents do literally anything they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it's super inspirational.
Yeah.
Also a little intimidating.
Right.
Like to follow and I don't know if I'm ever gonna do like I don't know if I'm ever gonna do like ultra marathons and stuff like that, but maybe. I don't know. I never said I was gonna do a marathon, then I did 3 just because my parents were like, "Why don't you do one?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure."
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
2, 3.
Yeah.
2 and 3. That's like almost like doing one ultra.
Exactly.
Just broken out over time.
Yeah.
Just taking long breaks in between.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
A few months of naps and eating and
A couple of months worth of naps. It's always a good amount of naps to get. It's a month and a half.
Mm.
When you were going to make that shift, when you were going to jump from your stable job with health insurance and all that sort of stuff, and you're like, I'm going to go do internet comedy. Did you have to convince your parents? Like, were they a tough sell?
No, they've been my biggest supporters.
Yeah.
Since day one. Yeah, anything I want to do, they've been like, just do it. But, like I also, it definitely was like a strategic decision. It wasn't like I was like, I'm just going to try it.
Yeah.
And see, like I had already built an audience on Vine. Granted, it was like dying at the time. So it was like a little bit of a risk.
A moment of silence for Vine.
Yeah, all right.
Do people still mourn the loss of Vine? Do we?
Yeah.
There we go. That's what I thought.
Everyone that brings it up, people are like, oh man, I miss it. I feel like there's still like a air, like there's still like room for it, you know, like there's a void where it was left, where there's like no content that's that great anymore. Like there's TikTok, but it's like you know.
That's the official word on TikTok. There's TikTok, but like,
yeah, there's like some good stuff on TikTok now, but
it's different.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
We were talking about your parents were super supportive when you made that.
Oh
jump.
yeah. So,
but it was strategic. You were saying.
Yeah, it was like I knew I could. I'd done it once before. I just knew like if I learned my style, like style worked for me on YouTube and stuff, that I could potentially do it again. Thing is, like it was kind of scary because I'm Canadian, so I needed.
That is scary.
I needed a Canadian living in LA. Scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah,
that's rough.
I needed a special type of visa to do entertainment full time. Like I had a visa that allowed me to do engineering, but that's it. And so I applied for it, and I waited a few months, and then I got it, which means I had to quit my job and do this. Like I was, like I had to. So that was it. Yeah. And it was like right when Vine died, when they took it down.
So the thing that you were really like popular and successful on,
Yeah.
that was taken away,
Yeah.
and you were told you can't do this other job anymore.
Exactly. So I was like, I got no choice.
So that's it.
Yeah.
So flying without a net, really,
Yeah.
is how you kind of did it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty amazing. So there wasn't really a point. Did you feel, even though that's a scary thing on paper, did you feel confident and comfortable in that moment, or were you scared? Like, was it?
No, I was scared for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a weird kind of moment where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
is this the right thing? Like, you know, I didn't feel super passionate about anything. I was just like, I just want to like learn how to do something really well. And so, I don't know, it was definitely like a scary like 6 months.
Well, there you go, 6 months. What's the flip side of that coin? When was it not scary anymore? Like, when was the moment you're like, all right, this is working, we're going to do it?
Yeah, well, you know, like I was making like decent money.
Yeah.
Nothing like I was making as a software engineer. That's a pretty great.
Senior,
like,
right? You were senior software engineer?
Yeah. So
That's
like
good
pretty
money.
cushy job.
Very.
Yeah. And so there was a moment where like it was when we started our podcast on Patreon, and like a couple months into that, you know, we had like a decent amount of people paying every month.
Yeah.
And I was like, this now feels like this could be something, right? Like it's a little safety net now that we have these people that are committing to us every single month. Like that has to mean something. Maybe we can grow that and scale it from there.
Were you ever nervous as the scale increased? Like, was there a number you were like, holy crap, that's a lot of people
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
That's a responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even now, like it's like 10,000 people now.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
Cumulatively,
It's
it's huge. And
Yeah.
videos, they get thousands upon thousands.
Yeah.
Looking at it. It's pretty nuts.
It's like there's more, it's just more pressure to make better and better stuff, which is like, I love it.
Is it still a crazy moment? Is it still surreal? Like when GT Dave saw like the Kombucha King video?
Yeah.
And you were like, crap, people watch these.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Was that like
every time.
No way.
'Cause it happens so fast every
millions,
time.
You're still surprised, even in millions, like it's still.
I mean, like,
you?
gee, he's a billionaire. Like,
Well, yeah, that's-
what does he gain
Dave
by
doing? Yeah.
watching that video? Like, so what? Yeah. You know, he's gonna like, these people made fun of me. I'm gonna keep making billions of dollars. So, but it was like right away too. Like it was like within 20 minutes of the video being posted, he had seen it and messaged me being like, "This is really funny. We should link up and do something or whatever." Wow. And so it's always a weird thing.
He's a great. That whole freaking saga is kind of like the picture perfect example of like when like roast culture goes right. Like when somebody has a sense of humor and when you guys are attacking something that they can appreciate as well, and then you come together and everyone kind of has a great moment together. You've always had an opinion in all of your videos. Like even if you go back before you had all these millions of people, have you been more cognizant of that? Like have the Girls Defined video girls reached out to you at all? Have other people? No, they haven't.
They
What did they do?
They like subtweeted us a little bit, like
Shady.
Shady. they don't like us. They're the only ones that like really don't like us. There was like they posted on their blog or something, and it was like with 6 million views, it's our most viewed on YouTube, most viewed video on YouTube. The only problem is we didn't make it. And then it goes on to promote their book or their tour or whatever they're doing.
This is stupid, but I feel like
So that's the only thing they've said about us.
you're gonna be getting your hair cut one day, and they're gonna pop out from a curtain somewhere, and they're gonna run into the room.
Like, what now? I'll be like, I didn't mean it.
That's just going to be your thing now. Is people that don't agree, they're just going to, whenever you get your hair cut, they're going to wait until that moment, and they're just going to pop out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be the MO of the internet.
Yeah. GT Dave had a haircut next time. Hey.
How cool. GT Dave, man, here's the thing that stood out of that video. That dude, he's rich. That's clear. That is obvious that he's abundantly rich. But he's so rich that he's got extraneous owl money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you guys, he only had that owl because you guys made that joke.
Yeah. Oh,
And, like,
he called me. So he's like, let's jump on the phone the day before I was supposed to go over there. And so I was like, okay, cool. And we get on the phone. He's like, so I'm thinking about renting an owl. And I was like,
Good thing you
yeah,
called me. Yeah.
It's awesome if you want to do that. He's like, yeah, for sure, I'll do it. And so we, I didn't really think, I was like, yeah, right, he's going to actually do it. And we showed up, and he's like, yeah, the owl guy should be here in like 10 minutes. We're like, really? You actually did it?
Of course he did.
Yeah, and it's like some absurd. It's like thousands of dollars
Yeah.
to rent an owl for
Well, the other
2 hours. This owl was in like Hollywood movies, you know?
it's like the Harry Potter owl,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that owl.
Yeah,
Like, that's the
it's
one.
That exact one.
It's that exact owl. Well, it's also a clear sign. We're going to talk for the rest of this interview. It's going to be about this dude and his owl money. But a clear sign that, like, as a rich dude with an animal, is that he's holding it with the glove. Usually, you could put up some money and a guy will come to your house with an animal. But when they let you mess with the animal, you got money.
Yeah,
you
that's
paid
true.
for that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
paid
that's
to be able
true.
to hold
That's
the animal.
true. Yeah,
But he seemed like such a cool guy.
he's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really genuine dude. And
Your
I would say
video
a
with
friend
him,
now.
I would say your video with him was a better profile than Forbes. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
like, I knew who he was after I
Yeah.
saw your video.
Well, they ran this like weird narrative where they just like wanted to make him seem really weird.
Yeah.
Like we talked more about it off camera, but like like they totally had that from the get go. They were like, we're gonna make him look like a villain.
Well, they succeeded, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How, as like a dude who worked, originally on the other side and like on the back end, like as a software engineer and all that stuff, how into the data did you get, or do you get with your YouTube to like, oh, people watched it this hour, or people this part of the world respond to this? Like, do you get into that shit at all, or no? Do you?
That's a good question. Sort of.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like there's a part of me that just like that's constantly looking at stats, and like I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
subconsciously I'm like learning from that, but I'm never. I think it's kind of a negative thing to be like, well, these videos are performing really well, so I'm just gonna keep doing that.
Right. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, because it's like then you lose a little bit of like creative integrity because
Yeah.
you should be listening to like what's inspiring you at that
Yeah.
moment.
Well, it's such
It's
like
a nice, it's an interesting balance, I think.
it's such a you mentioned like, oh, I was doing this, and then I wanted to figure out how comedy works and how to make people laugh and all that stuff, and it's just an interesting space for you to like find your comedic voice, because like as a stand-up comedian, so much of it is what the audience is responding to. You go on stage, you see what works and what doesn't, but there's something about responding specifically in YouTube to like, oh, everyone's watching this video, so I've got to do this thing. You've got to kind of have to parse that out and figure out how to use that. How have you figured out like how you're funny? How did you find like what makes you funny and like when you're funny?
I think first of all, it's just like making stuff that I want to watch
Yeah.
too. Like I really do like editing my videos and stuff, because I think like a lot of like I think I'm super funny.
That's obvious, Cody.
Yeah,
That's clear.
I'm just vain and I love watching myself. No, but it's also like it's like a lot of just doing it like over and over again. It's like anything, posting videos, get better at editing, judge how the audience reacts, and then iterate.
You and Noel are on this crazy crazy tour, man, right now, where you guys are going out and you're doing live comedy and you're doing stuff in front of people. Were you at all nervous when you started with your first live show? Take me back to your first live show where you guys were going to take this and do it in front of a live audience. What were you thinking before you went out there and did it, man?
The first time I ever performed was I did like an open mic. It was actually with Noel because he was the one that he had been doing stand up, and I was like, I want to get into that. And so he's like, cool, I'll take you around. And so we went to this open mic, and I remember I did my set, and I was like, it was so bad. And afterward, there's like 4 people in the audience or something like that, and I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And afterwards, one guy I knew in the audience was like, he looked at me, he's like, it was good writing. I was like, that's such a backhanded thing. Let's like listen to someone sends you their song, and you're like, yeah, the beat's really cool. That was my first time, and then the first time we did a live show actually was I've been telling like my agents we wanted to do our podcast live. Yeah. Like we wanted to just like get in front of an audience and like try it out and see what's up. And so we didn't hear from them for a while, and they called us last December and they were like, we got you an hour-long spot at this show. And you could do whatever show you want, but it's next week. And we were like, yeah. And so we were like, what do we do? Do we try and do a stand-up show where we have other comics on the thing, or what do we do? And we ended up just doing our podcast just in front of an audience. Yeah. And it was really nerve-wracking, but it was a ton of fun. And so then we started thinking, okay, let's like write it out a little bit more. And it just became like more of a, and it's still evolving now, but it's more of like an actual show now.
How are you guys When you sit down to evolve it, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to put in more structure? Are you trying to find more room for you guys to just like vibe and have like funny conversations? What are you finding like you guys want to do with the show?
I want it to be a mixture of music and stand up and also improv. And then we have like a section where we like do what you'd expect from us on YouTube, but we do it live.
Yeah.
But I would I want to evolve it to be more like music oriented. I feel like that's a really good like structure, and it's really fun to watch live. So.
Did you watch a lot of stand up growing up? Were you a big stand up kid? Like was that?
No, I mean,
not really?
yeah, like just
Ish.
as much as everyone else. I was never like crazy about it.
Right. So when you told your parents that you were going to do comedy, were they like, you?
Yeah, they're like, you're not funny. No, they thought it was just like a natural. Yeah. I mean, like even the apps that I used to write were comedy based.
Yeah.
Like all the software I wrote on my own was all like stupid entertainment shit. So like they were like, yeah, this makes sense. Like,
Yeah, so it adds up.
yeah, it's like just doing what I've been doing, just like in a different medium.
Yeah. Do you think working with Noel has helped you like find a lot of like your comedic style and your voice as well? Like you guys working together, like there's that energy together has helped you on that path.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a totally different thing to be performing with someone else. So we've gotten really good at like doing shit together. Yeah. We know each other. We know like how each other think, and we know how to like build a joke and stuff like that. So I think like that's something that you learn how to do really well. Yeah. Which is cool.
How did you, as we're going through all these different things that you do, how did you decide? Yeah, we're gonna make music too. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's make some music.
That was thanks to Jake Paul, actually.
Yeah, I know.
That was his song that we like were making fun of, and they were like, "We can make a better song than this." We didn't, but like that's what started it all. I made some stupid beat, and I was like, "Let's do it, man. Let's make a song." And he actually used to rap back when, I don't know, he was in like college or something. Like he would do like rap shows, like, and he was like, "I can't. It's in my past." Like seriously, and I was like, "Come on, really? You can't just like I got a mic, like let's just fuck around." And he's like, "I can't, dude." So I finally convinced him, and we made that song. And then from there, our producer DM'd me and was like, "Hey, I'm a producer in LA. Like, I want to make your next song." And so we were like, "All right, let's meet up with him. Let's see what's good." We met up with him for a session. He turned out to be an absolute genius. This guy's like an incredible, like he did Walkman, he did all these songs. He's amazing. And so he did Super Zan, and we made that song, and we were like, whoa, this is cool. Yeah, it's a real song. We shot a video for it, and we're like, this is cool. So then we just kept going with it and kept doing it because it's so much fun. Yeah. It's one of those things that's different from like YouTube or anything where it's like you can work on a song for a long period of time. Everything with YouTube and like with this, new media is like you have an idea, you write it, you shoot it, you edit it, and you post it in 5 days. That's it, yeah. Right? It's out there. Yeah, and so like, for us, it's something that we can like, sit on. We can record something, sit on it for a while, think about it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Even if it's a song about dicks or whatever, it's like still like, it's still like a different type of creative endeavor. You still want it to be the best song about dicks that you can write. Exactly, like, yeah. Still put your time in it. Number 1 on the penis charts, yeah. Those are tough charts to break through on, man. Yeah, exactly. That's a tight competition up there. I forgot what I was going to ask you because of the penis charts. All right, so how much of the show then do you guys sit back and go like, all right, we've got these amazing songs now, dick related or not. How much of the show do you want? You say it's going to be music. Is how much of it's going to be comedy? Like, how do you find that balance? I mean, the problem with doing like music live is that like it really depends on the context. If people come to a music show, then you can do whatever. But if people come to a comedy show, the music has to be really punchline heavy. And like really, like you can't just like go up and do Walkman. People are, what the fuck are you doing? It's super weird. So like our music that we write for the show like has to be super comedic. So like that's what we're working on now is trying to create songs that are like more, it's easier to perform them live and they're more like easier to digest. Yeah. What are you guys thinking of like in terms of, have you had to figure out, like, as things are scaling so quickly, I know Noel was talking about this in the podcast, of just, like, how do you keep it true to what you guys are and what you do? Like, you want to scale it, but you also don't want it to change. Like, is that something you guys are, like, struggling with or trying to figure out now? Yeah, we're still trying to figure that out. Yeah. Like, we still don't have a producer for our podcast because we just... Still do everything? Yeah, and it's just, like, part of the charm is that, but it also is, like, means that, like, our studio is, like, so shitty, and it's just been shitty forever. We just got a new one, and it's just as shitty. Yeah, I was listening to that. Why? It's a new studio. Why? What? I mean, it's cool, but we have to have someone come in and build a set and stuff like that. Yeah. And we're just like, we don't have anyone to like do that shit for us. So it's just like it just takes a while.
You guys building your own sets? Are you?
We might do this. Yeah. Well, I'm taking notes right now. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm like, I got to get a camera crane like this with a tennis ball on it.
That's right. Well, the good thing about the tennis balls is you get them in packs of 3. So, yeah, you never run out.
For my 3 cranes that we're going to have.
Your show's going to be shot all on cranes exclusively, just constantly moving. Yeah.
Just everyone watching's throwing up because of the movement.
It just never stops.
Yeah. This show sucks.
Where can people go to get tickets that are still available, man? Is it Tiny Meat Tour?
Yeah.
TinyMeatTour.com.
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 Yeah.
What else?
They're going fast. So get them.
What else? Before we go to audience Q&A, what else do you guys want to plug? What else is going on? I know you've got some amazing music out there.
Tiny Meat Gang. We got Stream Walkman on Spotify. Short King's Anthem on Spotify. Yeah, that's it. And check us out on YouTube.
And if you listen to the podcast on iTunes, go rate them. That helps a lot. Like,
yeah,
climb the charts and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's do that too. Let's do that. And buy my merch too. Fuck it.
I set up a table for you. I'm going to be selling your shit out there outside. I'm trying to help you out here. We got, Casey's telling me I got a couple of questions. I got one. We'll start with a tweet. So somebody out there watching live. This is from Allie, I guess. Yeah, Allie says, Cody, what has been the best and worst part of expanding past YouTube and into podcast tours, et cetera, et cetera?
Best and worst part. Okay, worst probably like stress. Yeah, like I just been like this year has been like the most stressful of my whole life.
What do you do when you get stressed, man? How do you like
eat? Yeah, mostly just eat food. Best. No, I mean like I'm trying to learn how to manage it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it yet, but I'm gonna learn.
Still figuring it out.
Yeah, like I think it's about like time management and figuring out priorities and stuff, and like really like writing them down instead of just having them all up here because I feel like that's where everything comes from. Yeah. Best though, I mean, is just everyone like this sitting in front of you guys and being at the shows and stuff like that and performing at these like incredible theaters. I never thought I'd be there in my whole life, so it's really cool.
That's still really surreal, right? When you get out there and people are just screaming and it's a freaking packed house.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a crazy feeling. We've got, how many we got in the room, Casey? I got a couple. I got 3. Fantastic. Let me do the first one. You got a microphone. Let's go for it. Hey.
Hi, Cody.
Hey, what's up?
Love you.
Thanks.
So my question for you is, what's one piece of advice you would give your former self or like your past self?
Oh, okay. Nice.
Got you thinking.
I mean, I would probably say, don't party as much. That's stupid, but like when I first moved to LA, I kind of just like, was like just got into it, and I feel like if I was working those couple of years, like I'd be ahead of the game right now. I feel like I'm like late to all this shit.
Really?
Yeah, like YouTube and stuff. Like I just feel like in music and everything, like it's I feel like I could have had a head start on it, but I don't know.
But didn't you like learn shit along the way that if you didn't do that, you wouldn't be able to do the things that you do now? You know what I kind of mean? Like you had to go through whatever. I mean, granted, I don't know how much you learned from partying really hard when you got that.
Yeah, there's nothing you can really learn from that.
Gain a lot of wisdom. From
that. You learn how to party better. That's all it is.
You can party like nobody's business.
Yeah. I'm really good at that. Top of the party charts.
We got a couple more questions. That was a great question. Thank you. We got a couple more. Next one.
Oh, but also some real like applicable advice. Sorry. Yeah.
Down.
Just stay like that.
I'll stay here.
Is that like it was always like really intimidating, like trying to, especially like music, like picking up these new forms and whatever. It's like, oh no, you got to be like a 15-year-old artist that just knows what he wants to do, and then you know what I mean, in order to succeed at something like music. But it's really just like programming. It's like you're recognizing patterns and conquering a learning curve just like anything else. So I'd say like just try it at least, see what's good, try your best at it. Try your best. That's the advice. Yeah.
We whittled it down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't party as much to try your best.
Yeah.
I like both of those.
Yeah.
I think those are great. What's we're gonna get to your question. I promise. Don't go anywhere. You look very relaxed now. You got settled right back in. Okay, good. But like, just try it. What's something you haven't just tried yet? Something crazy that you like want to try that you haven't done?
Oh, that's a good question. Skydiving.
There we go. Nice. Start off small. Do indoor skydiving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I don't know. Actually, like I'm. That's a good question. I'm gonna think about that one.
Please do.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a question for myself too.
Yeah. I don't know what I would say.
Writing a book. That's what I want to do.
Oh.
I want to do that in the next like 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a cool one. I like that. Was that your question? I'm sorry if I took your question. No?
Kind of, but not really.
All right. Well, I trust you. Come on up here. Let's get another one. What do you got?
I got trust issues now. Sorry. My question is, so you do podcasting, YouTube, literally everything, and your new rap career. It's going great. Where do you see is, like you said, that the best part is figuring out which platform do you think you want to figure out next, and which one do you think was like the hardest to figure out and adapt?
Yeah, YouTube was hard. I was posting vlogs 3 times a week while working a full-time job forever, and nothing was happening.
Yeah.
They were getting like sort of, like however many views, but it was never like enough to, it wasn't growing. It was just like there. That's what it was, and I was like, this is cool, but like in order to make this something, you want shit to grow. Totally. Eventually, so YouTube was really hard. Like it took like a while for me to figure out like how to edit, what my style is, blah blah blah. Everything I think has its own challenges and stuff like that. Nerves wise though, like live performing is really tough for me because just like I get really nervous.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to...
Yeah. So next probably maybe like I want to start like writing more. Like we're gonna start like pitching a show pretty soon. So like I want to,
that's awesome.
Stuff that I've actually written.
You and Noel together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's badass, man. At the risk of asking a question that's like impossible to answer, but when you saw that it wasn't growing and you had to kind of force that growth, do you know now like what you did to make that growth happen? Like, was it the editing? Was it just creating better content?
Yeah, it was like literally just changed the style of video that I made, and
Yeah.
the first one that I did worked, and so I was like,
No
okay.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That was not impossible to answer at all. That was actually very easy for you to answer.
Yeah.
We've got time for one more question. Is that right, Casey? All right, sweet. Let's do it up. You got a microphone. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Yossi. I was just wondering about like the ethics of your comedy and like when you get into something that's like a controversial topic or a controversial joke, what's your process behind that and like how do you approach that?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, like, I try and stay... I mean, I feel like we keep things pretty light and pretty funny. Like, we're never... I don't know. I never want to be, like, the dude that's like, this is how you should feel about this. It's more like, hey, like, check out this thing. Maybe it's weird. So, I don't know. I like to keep things, like, I'd rather entertain rather than, have people take, like, an ethical stance on something.
Yeah. And even so, like, when you... Like, the whole... Jake Paul thing, this is my personal opinion, he's objectionably kind of a bad dude in that video that you guys, and that's just me, you don't have to agree with that, but that's how I feel about him. And like when you were doing like the critique of the teacher video, it's like, yeah, he's shitting on people that work for not nearly enough money and work really hard to trade. It's just like, you weren't taking like, and don't take this as a criticism, but it wasn't like a brave stance. Like you were saying stuff that was objectionably like, the right side, like,
yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily controversial. I just think he didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Again, my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you guys, you've always done a great job, and that's what I mean by like you look at like GT Dave, where like you weren't even shitting on him, you were shitting on the video and the way the video made him look.
Yeah.
Like so even when you guys do have an opinion, it is like you find a way to skirt that line of like saying something that means something, but really people can get behind if they listen and understand. Yeah.
Basically just because we're cowards and we don't take it.
Oh, that's kind of it. That's what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way. You guys are absolute cowards. No, man, I don't know. I really dig what you and Noel do. I think you guys are really funny. I love the videos you put together, and I think your podcast is great, and I'm really excited for you guys. This tour is awesome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
and
it.
I'm really, really excited for you guys to have all this success and figure out all this stuff.
Awesome.
And thank you for documenting it and talking about it openly. And like,
absolutely, yeah. Thank you guys
are
for
figuring
coming,
it out.
And
While I'm thanking people, you guys are badass as well. You're an awesome audience. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out and asking these great questions. Thanks to those who were watching live and sent in questions. While you're applauding, do it again, but much louder, because now we're going to thank the great Cody Ko for being here. Come on, guys, do it up.
thank you.